Alrighty. Reviewing Andor Season 2, Episode 8. It doesn't look
The
like
Gorman Massacre.
it didn't look like I missed anything, and I'm not watching it under protest or anything, but Cyril finally choked a bitch, so I wanted to see what that was all about.
Man, yeah. Huge props to the guy. What's his name? Plays it.
Yeah.
He was so good in this one because he came around and the way he played it.
He still looked all cow-eyed and just didn't know what the fuck to do.
No, he
completely lost.
Well, yeah, because he finally thought he had a purpose, and
so he's the baddie.
And yeah, and he's come to realize it because the bad guy never sees himself as the bad guy.
No, but I like that.
Yeah, but that's you though. No, but I mean, really, the bad guy always thinks they're doing the right thing.
From any run-of-the-mill Democrat to Dr. Doom to totally.
The villain never sees themselves as the villain, and that's what makes him so great.
I don't even have 52 friends, let alone 52 friends that committed suicide accidentally.
Anyway, right? But no, stands out big time, Cyril, in this one, and because it just all.
But he really wasn't.
Because he comes to realize that he's been just played and he's been a tool all this time.
But does he realize that?
And he was praised, when Partagas told him, "Oh, good work," and he's, is it okay if I say this is the greatest day of my life, kind of thing? Yeah, he was like really feeling good about himself, doing the work, and then to find that it was
So let's get to the choking session. That's the first time Dedra ever came. Seriously, because Cyril became a man that day, not any other day. That day, because he's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh no, because I mean,
yeah, and she came.
And she knew that she knew that he was not kidding around anymore, man.
But now it goes back to that thing I said she does love that dope, because if she was really the stone cold, if she was the stone cold bitch that she pretends to be, she would have just fucking killed him right there as soon as he turned around.
Yeah.
But no, she was like, what the actual fuck? And do you think that she, at the end of the episode, when she's shaking and twitching and all that shit, do you think she finally realizes that she's a tool? She's been used? She's nothing more than a...
too, and she lost everything.
And she did.
And it was all for nothing.
Yeah.
At least for her personally.
Yeah.
She's not going to get nothing out of it. What does she stand to gain from as everything played out?
Well, she's going to get a promotion. That's what she said. They're both going to get promotions.
Yeah, well...
Promotions that don't mean shit.
But she's also going to have the reputation of being the trigger finger on the massacre.
She's
the scapegoat.
Yes. She was the fall guy.
He's not going to go to the other guy. What's his name? The fixer.
So is that why that women...
And that's by design, too.
And is that why the women and the coloreds were kind of like weeded out of the Empire? Was they were the fall men and they were the people that got like, they're the bad ones. They're the ones that did it, not us.
And just the whole Empire being the whole patriarchal thing, and I just throwing out the P word, but it's true. In this case of Star Wars, it's like a boys' club. It's all white male Euro friggin'.
Not French though. Not Euro. Not other European.
No.
Yeah.
More like British, German, Italian. Where the fascist regimes.
Yes.
Even in Russian and wherever else that fascism was in Europe.
Yeah.
It's Euro fascism.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
You mean it's not the Republicans? Because that's what the Empire was.
No, dude, no. It is not that.
That's what they think.
That's what some people... Those people just need to pull their heads out. They're Euro-fascists.
Well, where did we come from?
And, that may be our heritage, but that doesn't mean that the Empire's like the Republicans. No, they're not.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
The Democrats and the Republicans are part of our democratic republic with representation in the Senate, just like in the Star Wars galaxy. People from all political points of view have representation in the Senate like that. It's not the Rippers, the Republicans. No, that's fucking stupid.
Just saying, that's what people think.
Well, I'm just saying that's fucking stupid.
That's right.
There's very little comparison with U.S. politics in the Star Wars galaxy.
But I do like that quote.
And that's a conversation we need to have, is the politics of Star Wars, man.
Yeah, and how it's not like the politics of Earth or fucking America. But I do like what Reagan said. You know, the worst things you could hear is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Right.
I'm from the empire and I'm here to help.
Right. And the government is the government.
The government.
All of them.
Yeah. It's the same government.
One side or the other.
It's the same government.
You know, yeah. Goddamn government. Yeah.
Not wrong. Any government.
Filthy hands in every pocket of my clothes. Government. Bonus points if you get that one.
So anyway, do we want to do spoilers?
I don't want to do
not that one.
Not that one. No. Oh. Because if you haven't seen it,
so what's going to happen to the kid?
See it coming.
What's going to happen to the kid and the gal? They're going to die, right? And that's why he was crying.
Well,
that's why Andor shed a tear. Just like the Indian when the garbage was thrown out on the road.
Yeah.
Sorry, there, I said it.
Oh, it was so like that. But no.
But we do get to meet K2SO.
Yeah.
And it was so cool.
I guess that is a bit of a controversy over the story in the comic that told how they met, and it's
really
inconsistent with that story, which is supposed to be canon. Whatever. I like the way they did it here.
Yeah.
You know, that
it is so cool that I'm either going to modify my model.
Yeah.
My like your model. What's the company?
The Bandai one?
Yeah, the Bandai. Or I'm going to have to buy I've got those Disney Store 12-inch ones or 8-inch. Yeah. But I'm going to modify my K2SO so it can do that. Break apart.
Yeah.
I just don't think that there's enough to work with a 3 3/4 scale one.
Oh yeah, no. Do a big one.
Yeah.
You know, so you can put all the wiring all up in it and everything.
Oh, I could even use my 3D printer and make a new one.
There you go.
Not a life size one. Well, nah.
But no, it was brutal, man.
It got real.
And the whole thing was just that the Empire set the whole thing up.
And so here's my
to justify doing it.
But here's my question. All right,
and Dedra was the one who suggested it. She was the one who planted that seed in Krennic's mind when she said, "You need some Gorman rebels to you can count on to do the wrong thing."
I know we all know this. Here's the question. Here's the real nitty gritty. The brass ticky tacks. What the fuck was the rebellion doing there? What actual purpose, since it was determined that they were, they like the Federation, that they were uneducated enough to be of any use to the rebellion? What the fuck were they doing there, being agitators and fomenters? And if it was already there on Gorman, then just leave it alone, and it could be an example on its own. But you're in there agitating and provoking. It's like when you burn a city down because of a trial or something like that.
It was because Luthen really had high hopes that Gorman would join the cause, and
were they?
And they weren't really ready for that.
They didn't have technologically advanced, or they just weren't.
No, just like mentally and emotionally and discipline wise.
So it is like the Federation. They were like the Federation.
They were trying to do too much too fast. They were doing a lot of things wrong. They were making a lot of mistakes. They were gonna, So then why didn't I'm playing theories with you here. No, really.
But why didn't the rebellion come in and help them?
Well, that's what they were trying to do in their way.
Yeah.
With Luthen, he sent Cassian in to meet with him, and Cassian came back and said, no, these people are not in any way, shape, or form ready to do any kind of...
Well, yeah, they're fucking Ricola motherfuckers. Right. Yeah.
Right. And he says, you know what? I don't want to have any part of it. he bowed out. And so Luthen sent Vel and Cinta in to help them stage a heist, just to see if test their mettle or whatever, and it got Cinta killed.
So
no, they were not in any way, shape, or form ready to join the Alliance and get into these militant operations like this, like they wanted to do.
But do you understand what I'm asking? Why the fuck were they? All right, so they were decided that they were unworthy of the rebellion, basically.
Well, Cassian did.
Okay, but
Luthen didn't believe him.
Oh, well, he was right. But you understand what I'm saying, like the overall.
But nobody knew about the whole
other part,
big picture of the Calcite extraction being
So then we're going on the other side here.
And
since the Empire, since the Empire is the Empire,
yes.
Why the fuck play this game? You could do a total media blackout, kill the population, extract the resources, and that's that.
Why do you even have to kill the population? Just evacuate, relocate them all.
There you go.
I mean, they got the resources to do something like that.
Because they're spending...
And Gorman was not that overpopulated of a planet. There was not billions of them.
Yeah, so they were spending... Again, being the Ferengi Genovesian, why would they go to such expenditures when they could just... All right, we're all fucking getting on the ship. We're getting the hell out of here. And then that... You know what I'm saying?
Because the whole thing was they did not want... They wanted to stage this thing that they could spin through the public.
But it seems like too much work. It
was way too much work.
You know what I'm saying? That's yeah. I'm like, just all right. It's time to go. Get the fuck on the ship, and we're leaving.
Right.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. You could do some toxic fumes or whatever.
Bring your spiders with you,
let's get all the shit. Let's go.
All your fabrics and your textiles. Yeah, we're relocating you because we need your world, and we're gonna ravage it. And
I mean, they don't even they could lie to them,
and they don't even have to say that. But I mean, we need. You got the world has something we need.
No, you don't even say that. You just a toxic gas leak or something, or
fucking cover story.
We're
evacuating you off this world and relocating you because we're so great, the Empire.
Yeah. So
and there's this danger here, and your world is compromised.
Yeah, I get that.
Whatever, and have that kind of cover story.
Wouldn't that be it? And keep the supposed, that the Empire's the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that rolling. I mean, you don't need proof that they're the bad guys. But if they're hornswoggling people, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But
that's where I'm like, this is too much fucking work.
But this whole thing, though, is...
It's too contrived. There, I said it.
But the Gorman massacre has been out there, blah, blah, blah. And it is one of the catalysts that leads to the formation of the Rebel Alliance, where it all just gels after the Gorman massacre. Well, and that's what we're going to see next week.
But then they should have done something better, not something so contrived that it was an upspring or the first real indicators outside of what was last season's planet,
Ferrix.
Outside of Ferrix, that it's like these empires are fuckers.
Yeah,
you know, it just seems contrived, super contrived.
Ferrix was not quite as high profile, and the Empire didn't have much blowback from it.
Yeah, so
it was something that got out of hand, and it was localized.
Yeah,
this was different. The Empire set the whole thing up.
But that's
to blame it on the Gormans.
I know, but again, like from a technical aspect, they spent way too much time and way too much money, too many resources on this planet when all they had to do was say, "Hey, let's go." Right. Toxic fumes.
Transports are waiting.
Yeah, let's get everything up and let's go.
Yeah, grab all your belongings and whatever else, and we'll take you someplace. And and
even if they just flew him into a sun, who cares? Just fuck.
But I think it would have been in much better form for them to truly relocate everybody to another place that they could continue what they're doing and blah, blah, blah. No harm, no foul. Here you go.
Yeah.
Your world has been compromised, and here we are to save the day.
Right?
Right?
And that
would then go do whatever they want with the world, and there's nobody harm, no foul.
That must be too complicated for Tony Gilroy to write, like, actually complex things.
But then where's the drama in that too, though? You know, you got to have the drama. The
drama is that it's a fucking lie that everybody knows about, and it could be the drama of Luthen, like, what the fuck are these people doing on this planet, and maybe getting to indicators of what they're actually doing, and then it could create ripple effects out that way instead of
it wouldn't have been a massacre, and the Gorman massacre is in the books. It was a massacre. It happened. So here,
but then it should have been a real insurgency, not a propped up imperial.
No, it was a staged insurgency.
Yes, I know, but like a proper real insurgency, and maybe even get some ships involved, something.
But
but it just seems too contrived for me to believe. That's all. I can't. It doesn't work for me.
Well, it was what it was, and it's the catalyst for the.
I understand, but it just doesn't jive for me. It's too contrived, and they can't. And Cyril cannot be that stupid. He cannot be that naive. I'm sorry, especially after what happened to him in the first season.
Yeah, but
I mean, I don't care how magic that pussy is. I'm just saying.
No, they played him pretty good though, man, and he bought into it, and you could see it in him. He felt so stupid when it finally he came to realize what was really going on, and no,
it's just another guy.
It sucked for him, man. It's fucking played him for a fucking sucker. The whole.
It's just another book depository.
Just because he was just so like wanting to do the right thing, and so like
the right thing, yes.
And then of course serve the Empire, and then the whole thing with him and Dedra, and fuck, man, poor Cyril.
I'm just saying.
I feel so bad for him because he was. I do, but I don't, because he brought it on himself.
He was a douche.
He did bring it on himself, but still, man, the dude played it so well.
I do like some of those guns, especially the one that old guy had.
Yes,
that was very simple, sort of just
yeah. The blasters, yeah, they were cool. That was what the heist was they were stealing weapons from some convoy. And, the one dude took a blaster in with him, and they said nobody but Vel and Cinta were to be armed. And this dude snuck a blaster under the thing, and sure enough, pulled it out and was struggling with somebody over it, and it went off and shot Cinta in the face, and that's how she died, man. It was like, oh, you're kidding me.
Wow, her first blast to the face, and it had to kill her. Oh. And with that, like, share, subscribe.
You're so bad.